All right. Good morning, all. How we doing, Dan?
Good morning. Doing fine. Thank you.
Okay. Let's talk about how people learn and where this comes into the sales process, recognition, and how you adjust to it. So I'm a visual person along with some element of the kinesthetic side. I'm sitting here holding my glasses, punching with them as we go over it. But some people are auditory learners. But talk about how you recognize how a prospect learns and then how you adjust how you're engaging with them to meet that learning process for them.
Let's start with the premise that a sales call is never about me, the salesperson. It's always about the buyer or the prospect. I have to figure out how they communicate, what they are like, and then I can figure out then how to present to them, how to sell to them, all that. If I just go in looking at myself, some people will buy, most will not, because most people are not like me. All right. Having said that, there's two main things really to look at. And I'll give them briefly, and then anybody watching this can research it on their own. The first is DISC, D-I-S-C. Those are behavior profiles. And so if you YouTube DISC, you'll come up with a bunch of stuff. But learning, is someone detail-oriented? Or someone overtly friendly? Is someone a team player, or someone very assertive and risky and decisive? I need to know that, because that helps me in my questioning, helps me in my response to their questions, etc. The second thing is, you've already mentioned part of it, the visual, auditory, kinesthetic learner. And so learning what that actually is, how do I communicate with them, that needs to happen. So for example, if you're a visual person, but I don't show you anything, I'm losing you. I need to show you stuff. So research those. Now, having said that, what I used to do when I first was learning this is, in my notebook at the very top of my page, I would have DISC, VAK, visual, auditory, kinesthetic. And every time they did or said something that hit any of those letters, I'd put a little hashtag underneath that, or a little tick. Eventually, I would know what they were. And it changed how I made my presentation. So little trick there. But again, the whole concept is, I've got to understand who this person is before I can even attempt to sell them.
And prospects ever ask you about the?
No, never.
Interesting. Yeah, the other thing I'd say is, and it helps the long-term relationship, the DISC profile, not just the short term. So we do it internally here. So we figure out each other and how we're going to react to things. So if I know somebody is a particular way in their behavioral side, so we talk about Bob here a lot. He's more analytical by nature. He's our spreadsheet guy, those kinds of things. If I come at him with a bunch of conceptual things, he's going to struggle to absorb. So I figure out how I bring that to him and those kinds of things. I also know when he responds to me, why he's responding that way, and I don't take it as an affront or attack. And that's a big piece. You can get to that level with your clients, and then the relationship really develops in a unique way.
Well, and the D in the DISC profile is a really good example, because those people typically like a fight.
Yes.
So if I'm meeting with a D and they're like, hey, I need to see a quote, I'll sit back and go, why would I want to do that? Right? Because they want that. I would never do that to somebody else with a different personality, because they would think I was a jerk. But you got to know who you're dealing with and then react accordingly. And again, at the end of the day, if they feel that I understand them, they'll share more information with me.
Sure. You mentioned the DISC side. Do you have a reference point or somewhere to go to learn more about the auditory, kinesthetic, and visual side of things?
Just go onto YouTube and just type in visual, auditory, kinesthetic. There's a lot of stuff out there.
A lot of good stuff out there. All right, everybody. See you again tomorrow.
Take care.